Well, that's a view.
Well, good morning. So much to report today. I started at St. Joe's National Forest and I plan to go to the Spiral Highway at Lewiston. Google got me kind of lost and I finally got my way onto Highway 12, which is a scenic route taking you through Lolo Pass. Once I got through that, I headed north and eventually spent the night at the small town of Polson. Well, I'm on my way to Lewiston, but I have to tell you about last night. I found a campsite and it was actually a Boy Scout camp, but it was being rented out by the Christian Motorcycle Association of Idaho Chapter, and they invited me to join them. So I ended up spending $25, and with that I got to stay in a cabin, and then they had me join them for dinner, and then we had talking, and we had festivities through the night, and then in the morning they invited me to breakfast, which I skipped because I needed to get a good start. And they also gave me a morning prayer to send me on my way. These guys were so awesome. What a great organization. And just had a blast with them. I am on the escarpment looking down over Lewiston. This is a 2,000-foot drop down to the river and the town. And this is the old Spiral Highway. I have been waiting to ride this for quite some time. I should get a good view of it here. You can see on the hills the crisscrossing. It's all one road. It's a 10-mile stretch of road that does that drop down to the valley.
Well, that's a view.
Spiral Highway, Lewiston Hill. Let's go. This road was first built in 1917 as part of Highway 95. This is back when the wagons were being replaced by cars and they needed a route that the cars could get down. So this is a 10-mile or 16-kilometer long stretch of highway that just cascades back and forth. From the top, when you're looking at it, it looks like they just aimed for every hilltop they could find and built the road over it. Spiral Highway features 64 curves. Some of them are really tight switchbacks. The road condition is pretty darn good. It's nicely maintained. There's no loose gravel that I could see. And yeah, because it's no longer the main road, it was decommissioned from that in the 60s. It's more of a local road now, and for tourists like myself, it's phenomenal. One tasty tidbit I discovered was the song Hot Rod Lincoln by Charlie Ryan. It was actually about racing on this road. I had no idea until I did some research, but that's kind of exciting. I would not, however, want to be racing on this particular road. See the river down there. There's actually two rivers, the Snake and the Clearwater, that kind of meet here. I'm not sure which one that is, but I suspect it's the Snake. highway was known for being really well constructed as far as bringing, traffic down a mountaintop. Yeah, it kind of won some awards for its engineering design. And I gotta say, it's a super road to ride. I had a lot of fun on this. Oh, there's a couple of sheep on the side of the road. Always got to be looking for wildlife and farm life. When I was researching Idaho for this trip, this spiral highway was the road that kept coming up as the best road to ride in Idaho. And while such statements are always debatable, I find that this was indeed an excellent road, and I thoroughly enjoyed the chance to ride it. In fact, I had so much fun on the spiral highway that after a brief stop in Lewiston, I went right back to it and did it in reverse on the way up. The road up was perhaps a little less scenic, but a fantastic road, and not having to think about the scenery maybe makes it a little bit better ride. And going uphill is always a little bit easier, so fantastic. But all things do come to an end. So, I'm on my way to Lolo Pass eventually, and Google decides to take me on a shortcut. So I head off the 95 onto the old 95, and then I slowly get onto smaller and smaller roads until finally it takes me to a road that's closed. Looks like it's a farm road, just a tractor road through the farm fields. So I go a little further, and I find another road, and it's at least got gravel. But before long it says it's the gravel ends and the road's closed if it's wet or muddy. So it becomes a mud road. And I go up and down some of these hills. It's quite steep. It's kind of cool. Luckily everything's completely dry, so I had no trouble there. And I think I'm starting to get out of it now. I'm on a road that goes for another 4 miles, and then it should hit Highway 12. So I think I'm through the worst of it. I wasn't filming because I was charging the battery, but here we are, and I guess here we go. Let's get some riding in. Good old Google always giving me a few adventures. The problem was partly my own fault because I think I left Lewiston the wrong way. But rather than Google giving me a detour that takes me straight back and turn around and get on the major road, it sometimes likes to take me through farm fields and whatnot. And this was definitely one of those cases. Now it turned out the road I eventually ended up on 170 road, and it has spectacular views, particularly as it comes down in Coyote Gulch and connects with Highway 12, which is what I wanted to be on at this point. Anyway, yeah, if you're in the area, I actually recommend doing it. Maybe not all of what I did, but if you connect from Coyote Gulch, you'll get a very interesting ride. I found the road quite steep, and at times the gravel was fairly thick, so the bike would fish around quite a bit seeking a path. But then again, I know that this is a road that farm vehicles have to traverse, so I always find that kind of interesting. The different terrains that farmers and loggers just take, that's how they roll. But for us, it's a an interesting road. All told, this little adventure had cost me about an hour of time. So I was happy to finally get here at Highway 12 and make my way to Lolo Pass. This first part of Highway 12 parallels the Clearwater River, and oh my goodness, it's so scenic and it's right beside the water. It's so nice not having the typical barrier of vegetation that means you can't really see the river even though it's 100 feet away. Here it's right there. Pretty much this whole stretch through the Perce Reservation was just fantastic scenery. Some of the best riverside riding I think I've ever done. The road is brilliant and the view is spectacular. Alright, Highway 12 is proving to be just a fantastic road. From the great views before to now entering the Perce National Forest, and we'll be heading up into the Rocky Mountains soon. I mean, this just seems to have everything. I really enjoy this road. Lewis and Clark went through Lolo Pass back in 1805 on their way to the Pacific Ocean. For myself, it largely marks the difference between being in Idaho or entering Montana. And once I was in Montana, I crossed over to Lolo Hot Springs, which seems to be some sort of popular resort area.
There's a festival going on here. Lolo Hot Springs. Lots of people. After Missoula, I turned north, heading for Polson, which is going to be my destination for the night. It's interesting because the scenery remained quite beautiful, but I've been traveling for a long time today. It was nearly 8 o'clock by the time I reached my destination, so it was kind of tiring, and despite the beauty, I almost couldn't enjoy it anymore. It almost seemed too much. And that's not a bad thing, I guess, for a road trip. I'd rather there be too much good stuff than not enough. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a big day coming up on the next episode, so stay tuned. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.